Good morning, children, and welcome back once again to this part of the video class for Standard 5 and subject Science. Children, today we are going to continue with the same chapter, that is chapter 12, and the topic was cleanliness and hygiene. If you remember, we had studied about what is hygiene, what is personal hygiene, and how to take care of our body parts. We had seen the different parts of the body, how we should take care about that, including the eyes, nose, ears, feet, then teeth, hair. So therein we had seen the different ways. It was all general, but we should all follow them in order to keep ourselves neat and clean and maintain proper cleanliness. We had also seen how different types of diseases are caused due to lack of a personal hygiene, and therein we had seen the preventive measures also. Today we are going to continue further with the same topic, that is the diseases caused due to cleanliness lack of cleanliness. We all know that lack of cleanliness and hygiene leads to the growth of disease causing germs, and these disease causing germs they spread through air, water and food, and causes various types of diseases which spreads from one person to another. Very often you must have heard about communicable diseases. Now what are these communicable diseases? The disease which spreads from one person to another through various means, that is air, water, infected food, or you can say that through insects. So these are different ways. Today we are going to talk about these. So just I've written those same things on the board. Let us study about them once again. Now, disease caused by lack of cleanliness. Lack of cleanliness and hygiene causes the growth of disease causing germs which spreads through air, water and food. And these causes various types of diseases. So those diseases are called communicable diseases. So I have just defined here that communicable diseases are those diseases which spreads from one person to another. Now this recently we have been attacked by this COVID-19. It also spreads from one person to another. So it can also be termed as communicable diseases. So what are different ways? Through air. Now disease like common cold, measles, TB. TB stands for tuberculosis. They all spread through air. Next, the disease which spreads through infected water. Very often we talk about that drinking clean water. If the water is not clean, if it is not free from germs, it will cause various types of diseases like cholera, jaundice, typhoid, dysentery, etc. And very often it can take the shape of a epidemic also. That means it can infect many people at the same time. Now through infected food, if the food is uncovered and not properly kept, it can cause food poisoning, diarrhea and other types of diseases in our body. Now insects. Insects are also carriers of various diseases like malaria, dengue, etc. Now actually this malaria is caused due to protozoa, but it is spread through mosquitoes. They are named female Anopheles mosquito. We'll discuss how it causes when you go in the next class. So these are the different diseases that are caused through various agents, you can say that. Now let us talk about what are the measures taken to maintain personal hygiene. Uncovered and unhygienic food. That is why the teachers and your parents advise you not to eat the roadside, that means food by the hawkers which sell those foods by the roadside. We should not eat them. Do not share personal belongings like towel, comb, handkerchief, clothes, etc. with others. Wash your hands properly with soap before and after meals. Also wash hands after using toilet. Wash your clothes regularly with soap and detergents and dry them in sunlight. Now, sunlight and fresh air are natural disinfectants. Dispose of garbage properly. Never allow water to stagnate in pots, vessels, coolers, etc. in and around your homes. Talk about that, do not allow to stagnate, because the standing water becomes the breeding place for these germs. So water should not be allowed to stagnate, collect in one place, or you can spray some oil that can prevent the breeding of the germs. Next, we'll talk about the different types of waste. That means it can be categorized as a biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Okay. So children, we see that waste are created by various human activities. Waste are produced in the factories, waste are produced at home. So there are, based on the type of waste, it is categorized into two types, that is biodegradable waste and non biodegradable waste. Now what actually we mean by these two terms? Now, biodegradable wastes are those wastes which can be easily decomposed or degraded by the action of microorganisms, that is bacteria. The bacteria, they feed on this type of waste. The waste like the peels of the fruits, vegetables, biomass, and you can say that plants waste, paper, wood, these are all biodegradable waste. If you throw them in the soil, it will get decomposed by the action of bacteria. These actually do not pollute, but the non biodegradable waste, those waste which cannot be decomposed or degraded by the action of microorganisms, they stay in and pollute the environment, or they pollute the soil, water, etc. The waste like you can say that plastics, glasses, chemicals, so this type of waste they cause a lot of pollution. Now, but one good thing is that it can be recycled. So it is up to us how to recycle this waste and make use of it. We say best out of waste. This is what the Japanese follow. Many countries follow. Okay, so it is very necessary that these waste needs to be managed. Now we'll talk about this waste management. Now the same thing, now I have just written the definition of biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste on the board. Let's see that. Biodegradable waste are those waste materials which can be decomposed or degraded by the action of a microorganism. These microorganisms generally are the bacteria. Now examples are peels of fruits, vegetables, plant waste, paper waste, papers, you can say that wood. Now you must have seen that these waste are generally, we put green dustbins by the roadsides, or even the municipality people, they come, there were two types of dustbins. They are actually green or blue or sometimes red also. The green, this dustbins are used to collect all these wastes. It can also act as a source of compost and manures which the plants needs, or it can be used for by the plants. Now non-biodegradable wastes are those wastes which cannot be decomposed or degraded by microorganisms. I just now talked about the plastics, metal, glasses, chemical, etc. These do not get decomposed, and of course it can be collected in the red or the blue dustbins. Now just now I talked the ways of reducing non-biodegradable waste. That means it can be recycled. But how? This, by the waste management can be done by following the 3 R's. Now what are these 3 R's? R stands for reduce, it also stands for reuse, it stands for recycle. Now let us talk about the reduce one by one. Uh, we can reduce the creation of non-biodegradable waste by following some simple practices. We should avoid the use of such things as far as possible. Example, we can carry a cloth or a jute bag when going for shopping instead of taking poly bags from shopkeepers. We should also use things with least amount of packaging. Now reuse, we can reuse some old items instead of throwing them in the garbage. For example, empty metal cans and glass jars can be used to store different things at home. Recycle, some materials such as metal, plastics and glass can be recycled to make new things from them. We should not throw old items made of such material. We should sell them to the kabadi walas. Usually the kabadi walas go from home to home to collect this, and we can get little money also from there. Kabadi walas go from home to home and buy recyclable waste like metal and glass objects, plastics, old newspapers, magazines and books. Rag pickers, you must have seen the rag pickers. They pick such a waste from the garbage dumps. They sell these waste to recycle center where they are recycled and new items are made from them. Now, this is how we can manage the waste material. So children, with this we come to the end of this chapter. Again, I am going to send you a small assignment which you need to do in your exercise copies. I'll also provide you with the objective type answers. Any further doubts and queries will be answered during the interactive online classes. So till then, take care and thank you.